You wake up. The light comes in. The world is moving. Emails, conversations, chores, small talk. You do the things you're supposed to do. You smile when someone greets you. You nod in meetings. You scroll past jokes. But inside, nothing moves. You're not depressed. Not exactly. You're not joyful either. You're just flat. Like someone turned the volume all the way down on both the good and the bad. You don't cry, but you don't laugh either. You go through the motions. But none of it feels real. People ask how you are. You say, I'm fine. And you're not lying. You really are fine. Not amazing, not miserable. Just blank. Some days you miss yourself, not the person others knew, but the you that used to feel things deeply. The you that used to be moved by sunsets, or music, or a random dog on the street. The you who once cried at movies, or felt excited about stupid things, like a favorite meal, or a good song on repeat. And now it all feels distant, muted, like you're watching life from the other side of a glass wall. You ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Why don't I feel alive anymore? Am I broken? But maybe those aren't the right questions. Maybe the right question is softer. What has this stillness been trying to protect me from? This isn't just a video about feelings. It's a video about the absence of feelings, and how that too is a feeling. One that deserves to be held, not fixed, not fought, just held with patience and quiet respect. If you've felt emotionally numb lately, like you're drifting instead of living, this is for you. You're not cold. You're not empty. You are healing in a language too quiet for most people to hear. Emotional numbness isn't just feeling off. It's when your inner world goes quiet. Not in a peaceful, meditative way, but in a way that feels disconnected. Like your emotions are speaking, but you're listening through a thick wall. Like life is happening, but you're watching it on mute. You're not being lazy. You're not ungrateful. You're not broken. You're protecting yourself. Numbness is not a failure to feel. It's your body and mind saying this is too much. It's the nervous system doing its job. It's dimming the lights, shutting the windows, pulling the curtains. Not to punish you, but to keep you safe. Imagine a smoke detector that goes off every time the toast burns. Eventually, you pull the batteries. You stop the sound. Not because the danger is over, but because the noise became unbearable. That's what emotional numbness does. When stress, sadness, anxiety, or grief pile up too high, your system doesn't explode, it freezes. It whispers, let's go quiet for a while. Let's stop caring so much. Let's survive. Some people mistake this for apathy. But it's not apathy. It's exhaustion. It's self-preservation. It's what happens when you've carried too much. For too long, with too little rest, all at once. You don't feel nothing. Joy, motivation, results. You feel too much. Just so your brain, like a safety valve, shuts the whole thing down. And in a world that constantly demands energy, emotional numbness feels like failure. But it's not failure. It's the quiet sigh of a soul trying to catch its breath. When you go numb, the world doesn't always notice. You still show up. You still laugh at the right times. You still say, I'm good, just tired. But something inside you is shutting the door, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Because sometimes the most intelligent thing a soul can do is go silent. Think of it like this. When we touch something too hot, we pull our hand back. When emotions get too intense, our brain does the same. It pulls us back from feeling. Not because we're cold, but because we're burning. This isn't new. Ancient Stoic philosophers knew it. Buddhist monks knew it. Even trauma researchers today know it. Emotional shutdown isn't the absence of life. It's life choosing to protect itself. Epictetus, the Stoic, said, it's not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. But what if the events just kept coming? A breakup, a death, a job loss, a disappointment that kept multiplying quietly year after year. When pain becomes routine, when stress becomes constant, the body can't afford to feel everything anymore, so it builds a wall, not to shut the world out, but to keep you from collapsing under it. Kierkegaard, the existentialist, wrote, the most common despair is not being who you are. Sometimes who you are is someone who's overwhelmed. someone who's tired of pretending, someone who can't feel joy, not because they're broken, but because joy feels dangerous, because to feel joy would mean letting your guard down. And what if the joy doesn't last? Emotional numbness is not apathy, it's armor. And like all armor, it gets heavy. You forget how it feels to move freely, but it once helped you survive. So before you shame it, thank it, that blankness inside you. It was once a shelter, a temporary home your spirit built while the storm raged outside. It kept you alive when feeling everything would have drowned you. And now that the storm is quieter, it might be time to open the door again. Not all at once, not with force, just a crack, enough to let one beam of light in. It's just enough to remind yourself you're still here. There's a myth that we're either full of feelings or empty. That if you're not laughing or crying, you must be numb. That if your heart isn't pounding, it must be silent. But feelings don't always arrive in big waves. Sometimes they show up as fog, as a stillness you can't name, as a tension in your chest that doesn't rise or fall, it just stays. Emotional numbness isn't a lack of feeling. It's a form of feeling that's been muffled, blurred, and quieted until you barely notice it's there. It's like background static. It's always humming, but never loud enough to hold your attention. Until one day you realize you've been living inside it. There's sadness beneath numbness. Maybe not sharp sadness, not the kind that spills out in tears, but the dull ache of being too tired to care. The grief of not recognizing yourself in the mirror. The longing to be moved again and not knowing how. Numbness is not a blank page. It's a book whose words are written in fading ink. It's still there, but it takes time and patience and kindness to read again. So if you feel nothing, don't rush to fix it. Don't force yourself to cheer up or chase some artificial spark. Instead, sit with that nothingness. Get curious about it. Ask it gently like you would a shy friend. What are you trying to tell me? Maybe it says, I'm tired. Or, I haven't felt safe in a long time. Or maybe just, please don't rush me. Nothingness has a voice. It's just softer than you're used to. And if you can sit still long enough, it will speak. You don't have to fear your numbness. You just have to stop yelling over it. Stop distracting from it. Stop shaming it. And start listening. Because what you call nothing might be the part of you that's been waiting the longest to be heard. There's no shortcut back. No perfect hack to feel alive again. Because this isn't about excitement. It's about presence. And presence doesn't shout. It whispers. If you want to come back to life, don't wait for a breakthrough. Start small. Start where you are. You don't have to climb a mountain. You don't have to travel or quit your job or change your name. You just have to notice one true thing. In your day, the sound of a kettle boiling. It's the way sunlight hits your wall in the afternoon. It's the texture of the fabric in your sleeve. The feeling of water running over your hands. These are not nothing moments. These are the doorways. Tiny invitations from life itself, whispering, you're still here. You're still real. Try this. For one day, don't fix anything. Don't improve. Don't optimize. Just observe. Feel what your body feels. Not what it's supposed to feel, but what it's really carrying. If you're tired, let yourself be tired. If you're restless, let it move through you. Don't judge it. Don't name it. Just notice it. That's the first layer of coming alive again. Witnessing without resistance. And then, when you feel ready, do one small quiet thing just because it feels human. Water a plant? Write a single sentence in a journal. Step outside barefoot. Put your phone down and breathe. These things don't look powerful, but they are. Because when you are numb, any act of conscious attention is an act of return. You don't need to chase joy. You just need to turn gently toward life. And let it turn toward you, too. There's no moment when you'll suddenly feel fixed. No alarm that goes off saying, you're back now. One morning, you'll notice something. A smell that makes you pause. A song that stirs something. A tear that finally falls. And you'll realize you're beginning again. You might not feel better yet. That's okay. Don't have to. Healing isn't a switch. It's more like learning to walk again after being still for too long. At first, your steps will be slow, unsteady, unsure. You'll question everything. Is this working? Am I doing this right? Will I ever feel normal again? And the truth is, There's no map. There's only presence. One soft decision at a time. To stay with yourself, even when it's hard. Some days, it will feel like nothing is changing. You'll still feel dull, still tired, still floating. But something is shifting, quietly, gently in the background. Because every time you choose to stay instead of escape, that's life coming back. Every moment you breathe on purpose. Every tear you finally let fall. Every time you whisper, "I'm still here." That's not small. That's sacred. You don't need to be vibrant to be valuable. You don't need to be energetic to be worthy. You don't have to be full of joy to be loved. You are not a performance. You are not a checklist of emotions. You are not behind. You are simply human. And being human means sometimes you break, but it also means you come back. Not in one big moment, but in 100 quiet ones. A cup of warm tea. A smile that surprises you. It's a moment of stillness where you realize the pain has softened, just a little. So if today you still feel numb, still feel like a shadow of who you used to be, let me tell you something simple. You are still alive, and that is enough. Not forever, but for now. And tomorrow, you'll try again. Slowly, gently, quietly. The way all beautiful things begin again. This is quiet philosophy, where thinking isn't loud, and life doesn't need to be either. Subscribe if you haven't already, not for noise, but for something you can actually feel.